maybe one of the most unstoppable scorers of all time. The 7-footer who plays like a 6-foot guard in Kevin Durant. And at center, the big Aristotle, Diesel, Superman, whatever you want to call him. You got the big boy Shaquille O'Neal down at center. What if that starting five, you had to face off? Who would be the team that you would pick to stop them? In this video, we are going to be discussing at least my team that I would try to at least build to have a good shot at trying to beat this team. Now, first of all, make sure you do like this video. If you do like the video, subscribe to the channel. The channel's 5-year anniversary is on February 9th. It's the first day I uploaded my first video ever 5 years ago, which is just so insane. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Maybe we can hit 10K by then. I highly doubt it, but hey, it's the thought that counts. Maybe. Also, make sure you guys go to my community tab on my page. There's a poll that I posted yesterday on how you guys are liking the new upload time. I'm posting around 4 p.m. PST, around there, the past couple of uploads, and I really want to know your guys' opinions on if you like it, or if you guys want later posts like I did before, around 6 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Definitely let me know not down, but over on the community tab. Just leave a little vote on it. I'd love to know your opinion. And also, make sure you comment down below your team. You could either do maybe your star player, which I'm sure we can all think of one or two players we're all going to have on the same team, or your entire starting five. Maybe you had a coach, a 6-man, something kind of fun like that. Make sure you do comment your team down below. And yeah, I think that is everything. So let us get right into tonight's video. So I actually found this challenge video on Legion Hoops, and I guess it was some sort of article that they maybe wrote about, or maybe a post that they saw. I just saw the post on Twitter of them saying a super team of Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Shaquille O'Neal. Can you build a team that could best this team? Wow, that's pretty intense, not gonna lie. So you could definitely put this into a couple of different sort of ideas. I mean, obviously you can just name off maybe the best or the GOATs of every single position, and then maybe you could probably have a chance, which obviously you could, especially with players at that sort of level. Or you could think of it as a matchup versus matchup sort of standpoint, how players will guard other players, how they will respectively guard each other in a real life scenario. Or you could just do it super fantasy style. Maybe you'll draft a bunch of 3-point shooters, or maybe you could just pick up a bunch of defenders and maybe try to win that way. I don't know, but I think I'm going to try to build my team at least the most realistic way that I can. So hopefully it makes sense. And to start off my list, at least, I think we can all probably take the same player. My captain, my go-to, my Space Jam guy I need on my team that will save my life, kind of like in the Space Jam movie. Team captain, Michael Jordan. I think that's pretty no-duh. I don't know why they didn't put Michael Jordan on this team, but they did Kobe Bryant. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe they're making some sort of like 2000s super team. Maybe, I don't know, but I think everyone is gonna say Michael Jordan. I think that's the guy we need. We need our apex predator, our go-to man, and it 1000% is going to be Michael Jordan. Now, with that being said, obviously building a team around Michael Jordan can be very easy. Obviously, not having too many alphas on the team is something that you also, at least for me personally, making a sort of realistic realistic sort of drafting of these players. I'm going to try to make it again kind of realistic, and obviously with a team with Michael Jordan, we all know Michael Jordan is that guy, so let's have him be that guy. Build a team around maybe some guys who will really build something great. Not a lot of, sort of go-to scorers who could just take the team on. Scoring-wise, I want also all-around guys. I need guys who will be, floor generals, defensive monsters. Gotta do it all to stop this team. I mean, of course, the team we're going up against is just a god squad. But even if we are thinking of it of a matchup versus matchup, I mean, of course, Michael Jordan his entire year, and definitely if this is, prime Kobe Bryant, definitely gonna need a guy who can really match up, face off versus face off with that, and it's gonna be Michael Jordan, of course. The dude averaged, 30 points per game his entire career, two-way player, yada yada yada, defensive monster. We don't need to go onto why we're picking Michael Jordan, but we are picking Michael Jordan first. That's sort of easy. After that, you can take this any other direction, which I'm sure a lot of people are, which you can comment down below your team down in the comments, because I really, really want to see your guys' teams. But I do think another almost log player, at least for me, when I look at this team and when I think about peak NBA players, which we talked about in one of my previous videos very recently, this guy at his peak, which was only 2 years ago before he got hurt, was almost, maybe even, I don't want to call him the kryptonite of another player, but he's an amazing two-way player. I'm picking at the small forward position to play alongside Michael Jordan. No, not his teammate Scottie Pippen, but a player very similar. I'm picking Kawhi Leonard, yes. Kawhi Leonard. I'm picking the lockdown animal. The guy who has bigger hands than Julius Erving. 6'7", 6'8", super buffy, strong, who could guard 1 through 4 in today's NBA. I'm picking Kawhi Leonard at the small forward position. And obviously, like I said, his peak probably back in Toronto, 2018, 2019, he averaged 27 points per game, almost half a block a game, 2 steals, for 3 assists, you have 7 rebounds. I mean, even as a shooter, shot 37% from 3, shooting about 5 a game. He has that, obviously, defensive capability, first of all. Obviously, having a lot of IQ, playing against LeBron James in tough scenarios, which I'm assuming they might match him up against LeBron, or even on Kevin Durant, or even on Kobe Bryant, or even on Steph Curry. He can guard all 4 of those guys, I would hope, pretty well. And he can do it very efficiently. Now, obviously, I do think Scottie Pippen could also do that, but obviously Kawhi Leonard playing in the New Age era could probably be a little bit more adjusted to how that game would be playing, a lot more outside shooting and things like that, a lot more perimeter defending. But also, one-on-one, Kawhi Leonard, you can give him the ball, spread out, and let him just play and pick and do whatever he wants to do. So, offensively, higher than Scottie Pippen. Defensively, I would say very equal. So I'm going to pick Kawhi Leonard. A little bit more outside shooting as well, a little bit more consistent at that, spreading the floor again for, the mid-range god in Michael Jordan. I think it's going to really help out a lot to pretty much defensive monsters on the perimeter with Kawhi and Michael Jordan. That's my little 1-2 punch on the wing. I think that's not a bad sort of team up to start off this thing. Now, at least for me, when I first saw this article, I stopped trying to think of my own team on my own free time, because I wanted to make this a video and sort of go through my thought process on picking players and stuff like that. So of course, when I first saw this article, in 5 or 10 seconds of thinking about it, I thought of Michael Jordan, and I also thought of Kawhi Leonard, pretty equally close to that. So right now I'm at a loss. I have no idea what I'm going to do, because I stopped trying to do it and trying to make a video for you guys. So having my 2 wing players in Kawhi and Michael Jordan on the wing, obviously picking a point guard is going to be pretty tough, because you do need a player who can obviously match up with either, the god, Kevin Durant, the scoring god, Kevin Durant, and then you also have Steph Curry, who's just a barrage of 3-pointers you're going to be having to defend this entire game. Is going to suck. And, man, you could really go either way with so many other players. But I think I'm going to start on the inside with Shaq, because obviously trying to stop Shaq might be even the most important thing about this game, because if you can't, get on the boards, if you can't stop the interior, which of course, thinking of prime LeBron James, prime Kobe Bryant, these guys are going to be running and tanking towards the rim the entire game, and then you have Shaq down there as well. Really need to think of a good low post guy, and I think for me, man, I Shaq. I mean, he beat Shaq in NBA Finals. Of course, it wasn't, Lakers Shaq, but still played Shaq in a finals, a very intense series, and seemed to be very well off, especially that during his prime. Absolutely, I'm an insane player. Hakeem Olajuwon, let's see his best year. I mean, he averaged 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row, over 26 to 27 points per game. Averaged at 1 point for one season in the 1989-1990 season. 4.6 blocks per game and 2.2 steals. Like, defensively, offensively, playing in the post, he can even shoot the three ball, which he didn't do a lot in his career, but in today's day and age, Hakeem Olajuwon would be jacking up 3-pointers a lot, because even as a free throw shooter his entire career, he's shooting about 77-78%. He had a good mid-range game as well. I think adding that, also defensively being able to at least try to be physical with Shaquille O'Neal, which is the thing I'm very scared of. That's why I'm thinking like David Robinson, a little bit of a beefier guy, could maybe match up well against Shaq, but I'm gonna trust one of the greatest big men of all time, probably the most skilled, in Hakeem Olajuwon on my team with Kawhi, with Michael Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon, not bad. Okay, now again, we still have the conversation of probably the two hardest people to pick, because again, with thinking of a player to guard Steph Curry, or even just be on your team, that could be a point guard, but also doesn't take away a lot of, again, a player like Michael Jordan, even a player like Kawhi Leonard, who could really get it done on offense when he's really heating up, or feed the post to Hakeem Olajuwon, run the break with Hakeem Olajuwon. Oh man, you need a guard who can do everything, and that's really tough to do. Of course, again, I'm thinking of like a nowadays player, like a Chris Paul, maybe, like a prime, Charlotte Hornet, early Clippers Chris Paul. That could be an amazing player to have on this team. But even then, he could get really exposed on defense, What if he gets switched off on LeBron or Kobe Bryant? That's going to be terrible. But he can't really hold himself defensively. Of course, I think 1 year he almost averaged 3 or 4 steals in an NBA season. So he's obviously a more scrappier defender than what we see of today, even though today he is an amazing scrappy player. So, man, Chris Paul is probably one of them for sure. And he can even play off the ball pretty well. Obviously, we saw that with James Harden, even nowadays with Devin Booker. Yeah, I think he would be a really great floor general. He could really be a floor general, but not really be ball dominant, which I think is exactly what we're looking for. But again, having, a barely 6'1" guy on our team, I don't really know how I really feel about that. And there's so many other really good point guards who are a bit bigger than me, like Jason Kidd, maybe even Isaiah Thomas, but maybe if I have Michael Jordan, like, that's not the best sort of thing to pick, especially if this is like a realistic sort of team I'm building. Maybe that's not the best one to pick. Man, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna pick Magic Johnson, and I know that's kind of like the stupid no-do, and I bet you were screaming at the screen, or whispering at the screen to tell me to pick Magic Johnson, but I think I'm gonna pick Magic, because obviously, again, Magic Johnson, I mean, the floor god, this dude could see everything on the floor, no matter what, and has amazing court vision, and even offensively scoring pretty good bunches. In his career, he averaged 20 points, but at his, in his prime, in his heyday, averaged 24, 22, 23 points per game, assist totals of 13, 12.6, 12.6, 12.2, steals a game of 3.4 in 1 year, 2.7 in another year. Like, he has it all. The thing I'm worried about is having a 6'9" player try to guard a very, 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 very fast, very skillful Steph Curry. Could Magic guard Steph Curry? I don't know. He's very fast, of course, with the sort of Showtime Lakers. He's a very up-paced type of player, but could he guard a guy like Steph Curry? Maybe. But I know Michael Jordan can, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to stick Michael Jordan guarding Steph Curry for the game, and then maybe Kawhi can try to guard Kobe, and then Magic will have to guard either LeBron James or Kevin Durant with either matchup that favors him more. I have no idea. I mean, Magic being 6'9", about 220, definitely a lot lighter than to guard LeBron, who's again 6'9", 250. Maybe sticking him around someone like Kevin Durant might be kind of nice, but man, I don't even know. Magic Johnson's never been, I don't think, on an all-defensive team in his career, and also isn't really known as being a defender. Obviously, when he's guarding guys, he's 6 inches taller than. It's probably very easy for him, but again, I'm not really trusting it against a guy like Steph Curry, who is extremely quick, extremely crafty, always on the move. One of the best, or even the best ball handler of all time when it comes to handling the basketball. Man, I don't know if I could trust that, but I know Michael Jordan could. So I think I'm going to do that and get Michael Jordan and Magic and Kawhi and then Hakeem at the 5. I just need one more forward. This is actually like a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be like a fun video, but it's really hard to think about trying to pick a team that could go up against this other team. And I really like my team right now. I have Michael Jordan, Kawhi Leonard, well, Magic, Jordan, Kawhi, and then Hakeem at the 5. I just need one more wing player, and again, it's just kind of the matchup of like, LeBron and Kevin Durant. You need a player who can guard a 7-footer who's like a $150 soaking wet, scrawny but super skillful, can shoot over anyone in Kevin Durant, but also a beast and a tank in LeBron James playing that 3-4 spot, either one of them, and it's tough. Of course, Scottie Pippen, a name that is definitely coming to my mind right now, but if you look at my team, not a lot of floor spacing. I think Kawhi Leonard might be our best 3-point shooter on the team, which definitely is maybe not the best thing, which again, I don't really know if picking Magic Johnson is the best pick there. I mean, there's so many great forwards in today's NBA, and I can't really pick a power forward, because again, Kevin Durant is going to be playing like a guard. Sure, I could pick like a Tim Duncan, a Kevin Garnett, amazing defenders and amazing players in their prime, but could they really guard, a player like, Kevin Durant on the perimeter? Oh man, I have no idea. That's going to be so tough. So you know what? I think I'm also going to go with a kind of obvious answer. One of my favorite players, one of the most underrated players, at least in my opinion. We actually talked about him in my last video as well. I think I'm going to pick up Larry Bird at the 4 or 3 spot, either way. Again, I think defensively, he is a 3-time All-NBA defensive team member, which is definitely pretty nice. He's had multiple years of averaging nearly 2 steals a game, basically his entire career, which is pretty crazy. But obviously, of course, the 3-point shooting of him is going to be very, 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 very nice. And I think that's the most of the reasons why I would love to have Larry Bird. Now, also, a great one would be, he's a guy, kind of like with Michael Jordan, you can run an offense through Larry Bird offensively. You kind of can with Kawhi. It's definitely a viable option, but with Larry Bird, we've seen his entire career, he is the go-to guy as well. So having a guy we can go through with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, you have, Michael Jordan, and then Magic Johnson there, being that guy who puts a nice little bow on top of everything, can really get the ball to where it needs to be to these great players, I think is the best case scenario on offense. Defensively, again, Jordan on Curry, then you have Kawhi on Kobe, then you have Magic on either Durant or LeBron, and then you have Larry on the either or, then you have Hakeem down low against Shaq, which again, I hope that sounds as favorable as I'm making it sound, but yeah, I think that might be my team. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kawhi Leonard, Larry Bird, and Hakeem Olajuwon. I think again, there's so many other players you can pick from. I think again, obviously Michael Jordan is a for sure one, and even for me, a player like Kawhi Leonard is like, I think that's a really great pick, at least for me. That was almost a no-dub pick for me because of how, obviously again, if you're making a realistic one, how much experience like that this guy has playing against LeBron and obviously of course Kevin Durant, even Kobe Bryant in the later stages of his career. Very high IQ, not a sort of alpha male type of guy, but he can play like an alpha male type of guy. I think he's almost a no-dub type of guy. But even then, after that, it's just a toss-up of centers, again, trying to guard Shaq with Hakeem, and maybe even a player like David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. Maybe if you want to go new age, you can go with a Steve Nash. There's so many different ways you can go, and I think with my team, it's just my own personal sort of how I think of how the matchups would go. Again, I would have to, if I was the coach of the team, I'd have to move different players in positions. Again, I'd probably want Jordan guarding Curry. I think that's probably the most important thing, because again, I would love to think that Magic Johnson could guard a 6'3", skillful guard like that, and he probably could, but I think Michael Jordan would match up at least better with that, and of course Kawhi could guard, well, I don't say of course, but he could match up well against Kobe. And then, I guess prime LeBron James and prime Magic Johnson, or even prime Larry Bird, I don't know how that's going to go. Do you think Kevin Durant, a 7-footer, match up with the either or of Magic or LeBird? That'd be very fun to watch, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think that might be it. I think that might be my team. So yeah, definitely let me know down in the comments how I did. I really want to know your guys' opinion as well on teams and